What up, YouTube? It's me, Isaac, coming you with another edition of my life. So I got a joke to start this one out. What do you call an Irish and British bootlegger who doesn't make 21 and up drinks? Here's a hint. I've done a couple of bootleg drink reviews, which I just happen to have one here. The answer to that is me, Isaac Brown. What up, YouTube? It's me, Isaac Brown, coming to you with another edition of my life. That joke I told just now was funny. But here's a bootleg Frostbite Mountain Dew that I made just now. Well, partially just now, partially like 15 minutes ago. Let's see what this tastes like. Although I'm betting Frostbite, which was blue raspberry. Smells like it anyway. Oh my god. That stuff is good. But yeah, as I said in my jalapeno taco review that I did earlier tonight, thanks Dad, those were really freaking good. I didn't mention I would have a drink review, but I am gonna review my two Digimon decks. My cohesive deck that the guys at the card shop built me and helped me build out of my starter decks, and then my only remaining starter deck that didn't have anything to go into my Digidestin deck because I already had parts of that. And two of my decks came with two of the different cards, so I just used cards from there. Let me put the cap on my drink before I get things rolling with my Digimon decks, because this is going to take me a minute. Although I will do a bit more in-depth Frostbite review when I'm done going through my cards. So, as I've stated before, this deck box here is my adventure deck, and this deck right here is just one of my starter decks. I have the remaining bulk of my cards in one of my in one of the actual deck boxes that the cards came in. But I do know that there is one special card in my adventure deck that I pulled out of a pack. Let's see if I can find it. Although I already know it's in here, but I want to go through every card I have in my hand at the moment. Although if I run into a duplicate, I'll just say it's a duplicate. So there's Togemon. So if you know Digimon, you know that they have rookie in training, baby forms, and mega forms. Here's Togemon. And then one of the baby forms, which I just kept my Digimon eggs in the regular clear plastic because it was just easier to separate them that way. Another one of the regular forms. Ooh, I think that is the card I thought it was. So that card I just laid down was another one of my duplicate eggs that I didn't want to show off. But here's the card that I pulled out of a pack that is an ace card, which could go with any deck. And it's a Zulongmon. If you know Digimon Season 1, you'll recognize him. Although I do kind of feel stupid for going. Although, here is a Tamer card that is Joe Keto and Mimi. It lets you summon blue and green cards, which is, I really should put these in order of how they were. So let's do it that way. Although, doing it that way just means another Mimi and Joe, which I won't show duplicates of the cards. Here's another one that lets me summon one of my favorite Digimon, and it is one of my favorite Digidestins, paired with another one of my favorite Digidestin. It is Sora and Kari Kamiya. I don't know I don't know Sora's Japanese name, so I can't pronounce her last name, which is kind of pathetic, but what the heck. Gomamon, another one of my favorite Digimon, who is paired with Joe. I just ran into a duplicate Togemon. Whoa. Gabumon, which is another Digimon. Obviously, all the monsters are Digimon, but that's neither here nor meow. I'm actually putting these cards back in the way that I had them shuffled for my next match, which is kind of an interesting way to for me to do it. The reason I shuffle my deck every week is because only once a week is that way I know I'll be ready for my next match. Even though I don't enter the card shop tournaments yet, they still play me every now and then. So I'm trying to keep my cards in the same order. Lilymon, which is another good Digimon. Ikakumon, another good Digimon. Which they know that I only shuffle my deck. Well, they help me shuffle my cards because I've got arthritis in my right hand. If y'all didn't know, that's due to the CP that I have, which is kind of irritating, but hey, you know what they say, when God closes a window, he blows open a door, or at least that's what I say. And here's what I would consider a counter spell card if this were Yu-Gi-Oh! It is Believe in Our Friendship, which is it's kind of like the spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which it features Ty and Matt on it, which I really think is cool because they are two of my favorite. Actually, I love all 8 of them. Palmon, which was one of the cards I've gotten the other deck box here. At least I think it's a green deck box. I mean, green deck in that box, but we'll find out when I get to that. Here's another one of those Tamer cards. Our Courage United, which has all the Digimon on it, except for... Actually, let me see here. Oh, it does have Gatomon. So it has everybody on it, including the cat Digimon that I really think is adorable because I love cats. I actually have 3 cats. You all have met them in different videos. Another copy of Believe in Our Friendship, which, like I said, that's the only time I will show doubles of cards. Now we get to the nitty gritty and some of my and some of my favorite Digimon that I always used to run. Angelmon, which is at the second stage of my absolute favorite Digimon, Patamon. Now we're getting to some Digimon that I don't know if I've shown this guy yet. Gabumon. But like I said, I'm just putting my cards in the same order that I had them shuffled in already. That way I know my deck is shuffled, because I shuffle it while I'm at the card shop. That way I know my deck is shuffled for the next match I play, because I can't, because I don't have anybody to play with at near where I am, except for at the card shop, which is still fun to do, but it's only on Sundays. Garurumon, which is another good Digimon. Well, actually, all Digimon are good. Well, everybody in this deck is good, except for maybe the eggs, which are just rookie Digimon. I already showed off Palmon, which is why I didn't show that off. Already showed Gabumon. But the reason these cards are sleeved in blue is because they help me tell when I've got my eggs and my main deck split, because the egg cards don't go into your main deck. They are like a side deck thing. If this were Yu-Gi-Oh! Or side deck in Magic, or even Pokemon. Which, let's see here. Here's another card that I haven't shown off. Metal Garurumon. He's one of my favorites. He actually evolves. He is actually Matt's main Digimon. Or rather, Matt's top Digimon. Another copy of him. Which, holy smokes, my cards are starting to fall. Which is starting to get weird, because I don't want my deck to get unshuffled. Or rather, I don't want my entire deck to get unshuffled. Another copy of Togemon, which, like I said, I won't be showing duplicate cards. Another copy of Togemon. Think that's my second copy of Angelmon, or it might be even Magna Angelmon. Nope, it's Angelmon. Now we're getting into some really good, really cool ones. Excuse me. Here's my favorite Digimon from the main series, Magna Angelmon. His main attack, if I remember right, is the Gate of Destiny. And if I remember from the show, he wields the sword Excalibur from, I think that was King Arthur. But that's really cool that I got my favorite card from when I used to play back in the day. Back in my a actually good deck, which I had a good deck for back when I used to play in high school and whatnot. Where Garurumon, the middle stage before, actually it's the, let's see, Zudomon, Gabumon, Garurumon, Mega Garurumon, and then Metal Garurumon. So there's that line. And then it goes Palmon, Togemon, Lilymon, which I'm not sure if I showed off Lilymon, so here she is. Which is cool that I have her back in my deck. Although back in the day, I used to run a bunch of different decks, but my favorite deck was my my Magna Angelmon deck, which is why I'm so thrilled to have that card back in my deck. Let's see here. Angelmon I already showed. Gabumon I already showed. But yeah, the cool thing about this deck and why I think it's a cohesive deck is it has all 8 of the main Digimon. Which I am going through at the moment. And it's just really cool. Because you can have, unlike poker in them, you can have, excuse me. Unlike poker, where you can only have a set number of cards in your hand, in Digimon you can have basically your entire deck in your hand if it comes down to that. Which is really cool because I didn't know that until last Sunday. Here's Metal Greymon. I will get to the Agumon line pretty soon, I'm sure, because I've gone through most of my deck. Another copy of Lilymon. Here's another good card that I used when I won my match last Sunday, which is Ty and Izzy. I actually ended up using all 8 Tamer cards, which the guys at the card store said this was considered the adventure deck, but I consider it a Digi-Destined deck, which I know it's really called the adventure deck because it involves every Digi-Destined from adventure, which means that if I'm lucky, there'll be different, I'll be able to pull other Digimon from other series. Hopefully I could even pull the Digimon Tamers, which actually involved the Digimon card game. That was kind of freaky. But here's another of the Digi-Destined cards, which are Matt and TK, which are I can't remember if they're biological brothers or stepbrothers. I just remember that they are older brother and younger brother. I can't remember if they're actually stepbrothers, like I said. I already showed that. Oh, now we're getting to some more good ones. Skull Greymon is another variant of Greymon. That happened when Ty couldn't use his Crest Right. Already showed Lilymon. Already showed Believe in Our Friendship. Here's Gabumon. I know I haven't showed that yet. I actually haven't shown this yet because I haven't drawn it yet. Gemini's House, which Gemini was their main tamer, main mentor in the main Digimon series, which I really like Gemini. He was a really interesting addition, I would say, that came about halfway through it. I'm not sure if I showed Izzy and Ty yet, but I know I showed TK and Kari. I mean, I actually can't remember. Kari and Sora, that's it. I don't know why that escaped me. And then I know I showed Our Courage Unites. And now we get down to some really good cards. Well, actually, they're all good cards. I know I've already showed this, but it is my favorite Digimon. Magna Angelmon. Angelmon again. Zudomon. Ikakumon. Now I've already shown Believe in Our Friendship. I've already shown Matt and TK. And I've shown Gemini's house. So that was my main Digimon deck that I will use in tournaments when I actually start playing in tournaments, which is hopefully going to be soon. Once I get good enough to play in tournaments, rather. Although, I think some of the cards are mixed in because... Actually, I know they are. Because I'm surprised I didn't run into my Angel Woman cards. Although I probably did and just mixed them up. Although this deck box here has some of my other cards that I'm pretty sure have actually, yeah. I think this does have my spare cards in it. As you can tell, I know I've shown this because I've shown my card sleeves for it. Biomon, 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 Biomon. Holy crap, this deck is crazy. But this is another deck that I have that has my fire tamers and stuff in it, and other things like that. This is what I consider my fire deck, which I'm pretty sure my Angel Woman cards are in here. Let me take a look. Which I don't know why they would be in here and not in my main deck. But let's see. Kakumon. Yeah, for some reason my fire cards are in this deck. Even though my fire tamers are in my main deck, so that's a little bizarre. Which I'm wondering if my Angel Woman cards are in here. Kabuterimon, Tentomon. Well, here's Tentomon. I'll show it when I come back around. Now, here's the crazy thing. All the Angel Woman cards that I bought when I got my deck of Hope, which was the starter deck with TK, which was the starter deck with the yellow cards in it, were I didn't know that the Holo and Digimon cards was supposed to be sticky, so I got a little concerned when I opened my yellow deck and saw that the only 3 female cards in that deck were, well, you can guess what I thought happened, because it was only these 3 cards were the way they were. I did not know that the holographic cards were supposed to be that way, and my dad actually wanted me to get my money back for them, which I'm really glad I didn't have to do. And I think it's kind of weird because I don't have any of my Angel Woman cards in my main deck, which I really should. I think they might have, I'll have to look into that tomorrow, because I thought it was supposed to be all 8 of them in one deck, which is why they called it an adventure deck. So I'm a little confused right now. But I know that whatever deck I used, which was the deck in the blue box, is the deck that won me my first match last Sunday, which was awesome. So I've already showed everything that Oh, shoot. I'm an idiot. I almost screwed this up and mixed my decks together. Holy crap, that wouldn't have been good. Well, it wouldn't have been bad, but it wouldn't have been good because you're supposed to have separate decks depending on what you want to play. And like I said, I prefer playing with Angelmon and Angelwoman, although for some reason my Angelwoman is in my side deck. I don't know why. I'll have to ask them about that tomorrow. Holy crap. But yeah, when I bought the plastic for the with the Lucarios on it, it was actually kind of crazy because I didn't think that a card shop would sell plastic for as much as they did. But then again, a bunch of card collectors use plastic just to keep their cards in perfect condition, which is what I'm doing here with my two decks. So it's kind of weird that this deck, my main deck, has every tamer in it. I mean, every adventure Digidestin in it, but it doesn't have all the Digimon in it, which I will have to ask them at the card shop about. It's a little weird because you would think that it would have if it's an adventure deck, you'd think it would have every adventure Digidestin in it, or that's what I would think. God darn it. The reason I love using deck cases that hold a lot of cards, but it also irritates me because the deck cases that hold a lot of cards actually have a lot flimsier tops to them, which is irritating as all holy crap. So this is all completely shuffled. Give me a minute while I get this back in here, if it doesn't bug me enough that it bugged me. Okay, what I just said didn't make any sense. But then again, I am a weirdo, like you guys all know that I'm a weirdo. But after I get these put back in the box, I will do the drink review portion of this, the actual drink review portion of this, because that was just a starting joke to the video about me being a bootlegger slash drink maker. Finally. Come on, you stinking things. Get back in the case. This is starting to bug me, which is funny because Tintomon's a bug. So yeah, that is a little weird that you can only have 50 cards in a deck, which is probably why I have two separate decks instead of just one cohesive deck with all 8 tamers in it, because you would have to run a lot bigger deck than 50 cards when there's multiple stages of every Digimon. Finally, I think I can get these in here. Yes, it worked. But yeah, I've only bought starter decks up until like two Sundays ago, which I was able to buy packs that time, and that's where I pulled the Azulongmon, which is an ace card, which could go with any deck, apparently. And now to do the actual drink portion review. So this is a bottle of Frostbite, which was Blueberry Mountain Dew, if I remember right. And the only reason this is blueberry is because I mixed in I really like Kool-Aid Jammers, which I've loved those since I was a kid. So I mixed a Kool-Aid Jammer in with Twist Up again. Although I haven't done that. I haven't recorded a video of me drinking that. At least not the tropical punch that made the Frostbite. So let's see what, even though I already did a taste test of this, let's make this video a bit longer and see what this tastes like. Oh my god. Oh yeah. I remember why it tastes like that now. The three components to this is 1/3 Twist Up, 1/3 sugar-free Twist Up, 1 16-ounce can of Ghost, which I didn't realize that there were two different forms of Ghost, one with caffeine and then Ghost Hydration. So I guess I'm kind of being stupid and doing a review like this this late at night, but what the heck, it is Saturday, so cheers. So yeah, I have been a huge Digimon fan ever since it came out, which is to say, when episode 52 of the main series ended, I was really, really sad. But lucky for me and my buddies at school, we only had to wait a week before Digimon Adventure 2 started, 02 started, which was really cool because we were all sad that the show stopped. So that Friday for our spelling test, so we all used to carry our Digivices and battle during lunch, or play the card game during lunch, or even play Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! During lunch. Although I mostly played Yu-Gi-Oh! During lunch in high school, and that's where I had my Exodia deck, which was really, really, really cool that back in the day, our principal used to play, and I never knew any adults besides maybe one or two from my summer camp that used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I remember back at camp, before I even knew that they were bringing Yugi's Exodia deck to the TCG, that I knew one of the camp counselors had 3 Blue Eyes and a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in his deck. I don't know how the heck he managed to get those cards when, well, actually I can't imagine, with the fact that he was an adult and kids had to trade their cards to get better cards, unless they actually had the money to shell out to get theme decks like let's see, the Dragon's Rage deck, or in my case, the Exodia deck in high school, which I bought legendary deck Yugi, legendary deck 1 Yugi, which had all three of Yugi's decks, Exodia, Battle City, and his um I think it was Ceremonial Duel deck, if I remember right. I'm surprised it didn't come with all four decks and have a Tim's deck, but I can kind of understand why it didn't, because that would have been odd. But I know they have two other sets of legendary decks, which are legendary deck Kaiba and legendary deck Joey Wheeler, which I am hoping to one day get the legendary deck Joey Wheeler, because when I started playing, I had all four starter decks and I loved running my Red Eyes Black Dragon, which was my favorite card before I pulled the Exodia cards out of my when I had my Yu-Gi-Oh deck box around my neck. That was a Millennium Puzzle deck box. That was really cool. And I remember we all used to spend like the first 15 minutes of lunch shuffling our cards, and that includes the principal, which was really awesome. And the first round of our one of our lunchroom tournaments was me versus the principal. I remember that I had the principal shuffle my cards and I shuffled his, but the principal never even got a turn, because out of the first six cards, I pulled the five pieces of Exodia. And that wasn't the only time that actually happened. But this first time it actually that was the second time where it happened, me versus my high school principal. The first time it happened was actually me versus my teacher's son in middle school, and she knew that I had somehow she knew that I had Exodia in my deck, but I don't know how she knew it, although she did go to the Toys R Us thing with her son when so she might have seen me trading for the Exodia cards. But the Exodia deck I used in high school was, like I said, Yugi's Exodia deck, which, as I said, I I won two of my actual duels, because that's what they're called in Yu-Gi-Oh, by pulling Exodia within the first 10 cards. And one time it was, like I said, during my high school lunch period duel against my principal. I pulled it within the first six cards, which my first hand was Exodia the Forbidden One, which is the head of Exodia, left arm of the Forbidden One, right arm of the Forbidden One, left leg of the Forbidden One, Monster Reborn, and then on my first draw, I pulled the right leg of the Forbidden One, which was the last piece of Exodia. And like I said, my principal shuffled my cards for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, although it could have just felt like 15 minutes and it was probably only 5. But yeah, it's been a great night. I'm having a blast and looking forward to tomorrow when I go back to the card shop. Every every card shop has different times when they start. My local card shop starts their Digimon thing around 3:30 to I think 8, until I think closing, which is sometimes 8, sometimes midnight. I've never actually stayed for the entire time yet, because my brother doesn't want to be out that late. when it comes down to it. But hopefully one of these days when I enter a tournament, he will actually stay and watch me play. But I kind of doubt it because he's not one of those people that he will drop me off, but he won't stay for to watch me play. He'll just drop me off, and I have my time to play, trade, watch people play, learn the rules from watching people play, yada 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 yada. And my brother will go do what he does. He usually just goes to the gas station, fills up the van, gets a drink, and I call him when I'm ready to go, which is usually like 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours at the most that I want to stay. But that'll be until I actually enter a tournament where I'll have to stay till the tournament's over when I actually learn the rules a bit more. But yeah, I'm having a blast for today. I'm your host, Isaac Brummett. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. I know I sure as shit will. Peace out, y'all.